Welcome back to my channel, and this is my review of Blind Faith, their only album. Now, with this album includes probably some of the biggest artists that really I know. Includes Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, Ginger Baker, and Rick Grice. Now, Eric Clapton, I'm sure if you know music and classic rock, you probably know Eric Clapton. Before he was part of this band, he was part of the band called Cream. I actually have another one of his albums in my collection. And obviously later, you would know that he had a very impressive solo career. He one of my favorite songs probably from his solo career is probably I Shot the Sheriff, and probably Layla from Derek and the Dominoes. We also have Steve Winwood on this album. When I'm personally a very big fan of his music. I pretty much like all the stuff he's created. Like all his work in the Spencer Davis Group. Give Me Some Lovin'. I just I listen to that song a lot. I really love a song. Also, with Traffic. Dear Mr. Fantasy Man. The album released same year as this one, actually. And also, the one album, I'll show you it, actually. Yep, so here's Ginger Baker. He was also part of Cream, I believe. And, and Rick, he was actually one of the newer musicians. I don't think he was really part of any bands before joining this one. Well, anyways, well, this group called Blind Faith, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them. Well, they all got together in 1969, and, well, they were only together for a very short amount of time. I believe this album was only recorded in, like, a few weeks or something, actually. This album only has 6 songs on it. It's around 40-something minutes long. This is actually the vinyl stereo version. Now, I was actually lucky enough to find this actually for relatively cheap at a record sort of show. They were selling this. This guy had it for pretty cheap. Now, I believe you can find this on eBay also for pretty cheap too. So, I will say that it's a little harder to find than like other albums out there, like Abbey Road, Pink Floyd, like, yeah, all the others. It is a little harder, but I would definitely recommend it. Definitely would add it to your collection if you haven't had a copy already. So that's enough of the front of it. This is the back. Pretty simple, See, obviously, these are the songs. Number 1, Had to Cry Today. That song is actually one of the longest songs aside from the last song, at about 8 minutes, 49 seconds. Can't Find My Way Home. Well, alright. Presence of the Lord. And that concludes side 1 of the album. Then we have See a Joy. And the last song, Do What You Like. Now, okay. About 15 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, so the songs in this album, I would say pretty much, they're all great songs. Like, my 2 favorites are probably Had to Cry Today and Can't Find My Way Home. The most popular track from this album would definitely be Can't Find My Way Home. They actually played this live in Hyde Park, the same concert where the Rolling Stones played in 1969. If you haven't listened to that version or watched it, there's actually a video on YouTube. You can pretty easily find it. I would for sure recommend watching that. So it was a really great performance. Now, I would say all the songs in the album are pretty good. They're pretty, listenable. The only song, now, I would say this is a pretty, pretty S-tier album right here. But the only song that really kind of throws it off is Do What You Like. It's literally, it's like, in my opinion, it goes on for way too long. You know, it takes up way too much time on this precious album right here. You know, and they only made one album, so you know, and it's kind of like repetitive line, and it kind of gets, you know, it's almost like Revolution 9 on the White Album of the Beatles. You know, it's like it's one of those tracks where, you know, you find yourself kind of skipping over, or like it's not really necessary. Now, obviously, maybe some people will like the song. Maybe think it's a genius. You know, for me, it's maybe a little bit too experimental, kind of like really repetitive, kind of not much to it. Goes on for pretty long. Well, that's enough of that. Now, I'm going to show you the actual record itself. Now, first record, came in a paper sleeve originally. Now, I also, another thing, if you're really into collecting vinyl records, I would definitely recommend these Mobile Fidelity SoundLab original master sleeves. These are really good. They're like, you know, they're really good for your records. Like, the problem with the paper ones, and especially like the modern records, oh my gosh, like, you know, the problem with paper sleeves that they tend to scratch up your records. Like, you know, at first you may not see it, but if you really look close, they actually leave these, like, you know, I bet this record has a whole bunch of them because it's been in that paper sleeve for so long. But you know, I bet it has. And you know, these sleeves, these are pretty good. You know, they're anti-static, non-scratching, you can see. So I would, you know, if you have a lot of records, I would for sure recommend investing in some of these. Now, this is the actual record. On side one, no, side two, sorry. It actually only has 2 songs because obviously the last song takes up most of the album. Now, on side one, it has really all the tracks that you would find. It has obviously Had to Cry Today, Can't Find My Way Home, both by Steve Winwood, by the way. Well, alright, Presence of the Lord by Eric Clapton. Now, that's enough of that. I mean, like, I don't have any, like, special edition box sets of this album. It's kind of only this, you know, it's like the really kind of, you know, the part that kind of makes me sad about this band and sad about this album, you know, is that this is it. Like, you know, when you think of Blind Faith, like, you know, this is their only material. Like, you know, aside from, you know, their live album, which they played in Hyde Park. But, you know, but this is it, you know, and from 4, I mean, excellent artists, you know, like, all these are, you know, they're legends in their own right. You know, they are really great artists. You know, it's like, you know, it makes me sad that this was it, you know. But anyways, this is really a great album. Came out late 60s, you know, this, you know, now in a time where, you know, as you know, if you know, like, classic rock, you know that the year 1969 was a very, very important year for classic rock. You know, that was, you know, it was in a way the end of an era, like, kind of the 60s kind of rock, and moving on to, like, the 70s, more experimental, more kind of, like, you know, progressive. This is definitely more on the progressive kind of rock side. Definitely a lot more experimentation on this album. You know, and just remember, like, this album came out at a time where pretty much, you know, 3 big artists on here, they were kind of breaking up with their previous bands, kind of all free, off the hook, you know, when they just wanted to experiment, you know. You know, they just wanted to make something that was good, and, you know, they ended up making this album. You know, I don't know why they broke up so just soon after this, and they only made 1, but anyways, that's it. I would for sure recommend listening to it. It's worth a listen, you know. Anyways, that's about it. You know, thanks for watching my videos. I will be posting more videos in the future about albums and album reviews. Fortunately, I cannot play in these records because, you know, all this music's all copyright, which, you know, sucks, but it is what it is. Well, anyways, that's about it. So, thanks for watching, and goodbye.